Hello students, once again I welcome you all to this online session of learning, and today we are going to continue with the first chapter of auditing, which is branches of auditing. So as you all can remember, in our earlier session we had learned about the branches of audit or the types of audit, under which we have already covered the first type, which is cost audit. Now today we are going to learn about the other remaining types of audit or the branches of audit, which are management audit, performance audit and social audit. Now coming to management audit, before I read out this book meaning, I just want to recall a bit of the word management. I am sure you all have learned about management in your class 11, as it covered a part of the business studies. So management in a very simple manner would mean to get things done in a very arranged way through people. So I will just write down the simple meaning of management on the board. So as you all can see, I have written the simple meaning of management on the board, which says the art of getting things done through people. Now let us break the simple meaning of management into two different parts. First part, the art of getting things done, and the second part, through people. So as you all know that a company has got its own definite objectives. So in order to attain those objectives, this can be referred as getting things done. And through people means the persons that are engaged in the business, in the running of the business. Those persons I have tried to show on this board, which can be the shareholders. As you all know, the shareholders are the owners of the company, who are also persons. From the shareholders, we choose the board of directors who take part in the decision making. They also are the persons. Below them, we have different types of managers of different heads who are also persons, and under them we have the employees, again who are also a set of persons. So we see that management involves a number of persons who are engaged in the running of the business. Now let us come to management audit. Management audit is a comprehensive and thorough examination of organizational activities of any of its components. So as we saw that the business has got its own definite objectives, and while it is in the process of accomplishing or attaining its goals or objectives, it has to go through various processes. Processes like planning, processes like organizing, directing and controlling. Remember, through people. And whenever there are processes like organizing, directing, staffing or controlling, that is what the thorough examination of organizational activities mean. So whenever management goes through this process, the management audit, what does it do? It audits all those processes. It sees whether these processes have been framed, the policies have been framed properly or not, and whether these policies have been carried away in a required manner or not. The quality of the plan, the quality of the policy is maintained or not, so that the ultimate beneficiaries get the maximum advantage. So it is the duty of the management to see that the policies are framed properly and they are carried out in an organized or in an efficient manner. From here, the audit is implemented to identify problems or significant weaknesses in the organization or corporation, thus providing management with a tool to address and repair the problem area. So what does management audit do? Management audit not only identifies the problem areas or the areas where measures can be taken, so that in the near future it increases the overall efficiency or the running of the business. Not only it identifies those areas, but it suggests the management to what kind of measures can be taken. It is the audit of management. So, it is the overall audit of the management, right from framing of policy to the policy getting implemented at various levels, and even the beneficiaries getting the advantage of the policies or the program. It is the critical examination, scrutiny and appraisal of plans, policies, procedures, objectives, means and operational areas of the organization. So, in a nutshell, we can say that the management audit, the function or the objective of management audit is to see whether the plans, whether the policies that have been framed has been framed properly or not, and if framed properly, whether this management has been carried out efficiently or not, and the beneficiaries have been getting real advantage of the objectives of the organization, whether these objectives of the organization have been accomplished or not. So, now we can come to the objectives, as we have already discussed the objectives also, but then also number one, to identify the overall objectives of an organization. So, management audit, it tries to identify the main objective of the organization and how that objective can be achieved in an efficient manner. Number 2 point, to pinpoint the deficiencies and defects in functional areas and suggest remedies for improvement. Again, we all can see that there may be areas where there may be disagreements, where there may be conflicts, where problems may arise. So, management audit, it identifies those problem areas and it suggests remedies to in the near future, so that it can be prevented, those problems can be eliminated or it can be prevented, and the efficiency of the organization can be achieved in a more efficient way, the objectives of the organization. Next, number 3, to assist the various levels of management in discharging their duties. Here, if you all can remember, I can just show you in the board also that there are various levels of management. So, this is a pyramid form in which the management has been divided into 3 parts, 3 different parts: the top level management, the middle level management and the lower level management. And what does the top level management do? They give necessary directions to the middle level and the lower level management, and similarly the middle level management gives directions to the lower level management. This is also called the delegation of authority. Okay. So, let us come to this point, to assess the various levels of management in discharging their duties. So, there may be the different levels of management. It helps, the management audit helps the different levels of management to discharge their duties, to do their duties in an efficient manner, to help the management in achieving coordination among the various departments. Again, also in among the various levels of management and in different departments, there may be different departments in a company, like the production department, the finance department, the selling and distribution department. So, the management audit, it helps to form a smooth flow of work in between these departments. If there are any conflicts in between departments, the management audit, it tries to identify those conflicts and remove those conflicts. And number 5, to ensure that management objectives are achieved. Again, it is the overall objective of the management audit to see that the objectives of the organization are achieved in an efficient manner. So, now we will come to the advantages of management audit. Number 1, it reviews plans, policies, procedures and controls. What do you mean by plans? Suppose a company formulates a plan. Suppose, for example, we can say that a manufacturer company plans to produce 1000 units in 1 year, but in between them there is no review, and only after the year ends the management sees that whether they have accomplished their objective of manufacturing 1000 units. So, there is every possibility that the company may not be able to manufacture the targeted, that is 1000 units of that product. Why? Because of the simple reason that there was no review in between. So, if the company had after every quarter reviewed their targets and seen that whether they are close to their target or not, then it would have been only possible. So, what does management audit do? Management audit, it reviews its plan. It reviews, it sees that whether their plan that they have formulated has been carried out in due course of time. Number 2, suggesting ways and means for the attainment of management goals. Again, so it gives suggestions, it provides advices to the company, to the management to achieve their objective. Number 3, management audit attests the quality of the management in the similar fashion as financial audit attests the accuracy of the records and financial statements. So, the financial audit, what does it do? It checks that the books of accounts are properly recorded or not, they are accurately recorded or not. Like that, management audit sees the quality of the management that has been properly carried or not, whether the quality of the program has been maintained or not in the similar fashion. Right? And next point, management audit does not concentrate on individual performance, rather it considers the performance of the management as a whole. So, it does not focus on an individual, but since it involves a lot of persons, it focuses on the total employees, total persons who are engaged in running of the business. There is not much to discuss about the disadvantages, but then also number 1 point, management audit cannot understand the practical problems. So, the suggestions provided by them are theoretical but not practical. So, as because the management there are a lot of persons engaged in it. So, a rule applicable to one person may not be applicable to the rest. So, it in a way it means that the management audit is a type of theoretical in nature. In practical, it does not suffice its objectives. This might also lead to a conflict between organizational staff and management auditor. So, this can lead a confusion, this can lead a disagreement or conflict between the management, between the internal workers of the organization and the management auditor. The management auditor may not be able to understand the problems that the internal persons of the concern are facing. So, that creates a confusion, that creates a disagreement. Last disadvantage, second disadvantage, scope of management audit is vague. So, it is larger in nature. The scope of management audit is very large. It is at the macro level we have to see. So, its specific objectives cannot be achieved. So, a particular objective cannot be achieved by the implication of management audit. Now, let us come to the third type of audit, which is performance audit. A performance audit is an objective and systematic examination of evidence for the purpose of providing an independent assessment of the performance of government organization, program, activity or function in order to provide information to improve public accountability and facilitate decision making by parties with responsibility to oversee or initiative corrective action. So, in a simple way, performance audit is nothing but the audit of any program or any activity or function that an organization carries out. So, it gives you not only the theoretical or the book, whatever is written on the book, it not only gives you that information, but it also provides you an inside story or the inside information of the program or the activity, so that it improves public accountability. So, what do you mean by public accountability? It gives a detailed information to the public at large. So, those activities or those programs which are meant for the public also needs to know, it is important for them to know all the about what the program is, about what the activity is. So, if they are able to get that information, if they are well versed with those principles or the advantages of those programs, then only they will be able to judge whether they have been benefited with all those goals, whether the organization has been able to achieve those goals or not. And it provides also a transparency among the policy makers as well as the beneficiaries, with responsibility to oversee or initiate corrective action. So, if there are any measures or if there are any areas which needs to be taken care of, or they need some measures for it, then those measures can also be taken, those corrective measures can also be taken. So, in the near future again it will improve the it will help the company in achieving those goals. Now, let us come to the advantages. It gives an insight into quality of performance. So, as I told earlier, it gives you the inside information of the company's policies and whether they have been properly carried out or not. It gives us the idea as to how far the goals and objectives of the organization have been achieved. So, it gives you an idea about whether the goals that have been set by the organization, they have been carried out properly, and the organization how much far they have been able to achieve those goals. Whether the plans and budgets have been followed in the business operations. So, the plans that have been formulated, that have been made, and the budgets for which the plans have needs to be carried out, those budgets have been formulated, whether they are according to the budget or not. Okay. Those also the information are provided by the performance audit. Number 2 point, by conducting performance audit, the errors, defects and inconsistency in different areas of the management is also identified. So, by conducting this type of audit, we will again be able to know the different areas where the chances of improvement are there, and what are the remedies, what are the solutions for those problems that the management audit helps us to identify. The performance audit gives the management the proper advice for the removal of existing defects and efficiencies. So, performance audit, it gives the management the proper information, the solutions that needs to be taken for the removal of existing defects, whatever drawbacks they have been there are lying in the organization, to remove those defects, to eliminate those inefficiencies. The performance audit provides feedback, it gives suggestions, and in that way helps the management to improve the future performance. So, in this way it helps the management, it helps the company, or it helps the entity to improve their future performance. Now, let us come to the disadvantages of performance audit. Number 1, it is a post-mortem audit, that is examination of the events of what have already been occurred. So, this means that the error has already been occurred and we will be able to identify it only after some time. Whenever we do audit, then only we will be able to identify that error which has already been occurred earlier. So, it is a post-mortem audit. It is the error is not identified today, it will be identified on a later date. Conducting performance audit entails huge cost. So, it is not feasible for small organizations. So, obviously to to conduct performance audit, it requires a huge capital. So, huge capital is a problem for small organizations. So, the small organizations are not in a position to afford this performance audit. In performance audit, there is generally a gap between the occurrence and detection of errors and frauds. So, in performance audit, say for example, while conducting performance audit, the error has been occurred in the month of April and we are conducting performance audit in the month of September. So, the problem or the error will be identified in the month of September, whereas it was occurred in the month of April. So, there is a gap from April to September, there is a huge gap. So, the gap between the occurrence and detection of errors and frauds is huge. Now, the last type of audit that we are going to discuss is social audit. So, as you know that a business or an entity or a concern, along with its economic objectives, it has got certain other social aspects as well. So, social audit is the audit of all those objectives of the concern towards the society or towards the consumers. For example, social audit aims to assess the type of social and environmental influence that the company has in its local community. So, it not only assesses about its economic objectives, but it also assesses about its social objectives and environmental objectives. Like for example, its social aspects means to provide quality goods to the consumers, not to provide inferior goods, and also to think about the environmental factors as well. So, it aims at whether the company has, whether an entity has been able to look into those factors or not. Number 2, it provides information needed to improve the effectiveness of programs. So, this audit also gives an information to the management about whether the programs, there is an to improve the effectiveness of programs designed to enhance community development. So, whether the company is able to derive those informations, to take out those measures to enhance community development, to improve the community at large. Now, let us come to the last part, which is the advantages of social audit. It encourages local participation. So, local participation means it involves the community at large, the stakeholders. Benefits disadvantaged groups. So, the people who are below the standard of living and who cannot afford huge prices, it disadvantages those groups. Why? Because it covers the social aspects and it sees whether the disadvantaged groups, they can provide the products to the disadvantaged groups at lower prices. Number 3, it promotes collective decision making and sharing responsibilities. So, it does not encourage one man decision, but it encourages the collective decision making and also in sharing responsibilities. So, by sharing responsibilities, what happens? It will improve the efficiency, it will improve the working of the company. Thank you.